Welcome back, everybody, to Third Palm Paranormal. I am your host, Nick Dodge, and today we're doing something a little different, okay? The past few YouTube channels I've had have been music review channels, and sometimes I miss it. And so I figured I'd do a music review, or I guess you could say an album review of a recent album that just got released by I believe a German band that I had no clue about until I saw them recommended on my iTunes sort of For You page, I guess you can call it. The band is Dominum. I hope I'm saying that right. Dominum. And their album is Night is Calling. And this is our album review. I'm very excited because this album has been fantastic in my mind. So honestly, it's hard these days to discover a band who's both dark and catchy, who writes with a pop-like formula but delves into the realms of hard rock and metal alike, who can write about horrors such as Nosferatu and Jack the Ripper without sounding too cheesy. I got the script on my phone. I shouldn't be playing around with y'all. Script's right here, okay? So believe it or not, I happened to just stumble upon this band, like I said, that meets all these requirements and more. Who isn't a giant fraud or horror poster boy, as I like to put it, like Ice Nine Kills, who I used to like back in high school, who I used to see play at these very tiny venues in Colorado, and they just become a fucking stage act, honestly. Nor are they as cringy as bands like Cannibal Corpse or the later years Rob Zombie albums. Come on, Rob Zombie. What are you doing? Just ride the waves, baby. Just ride the waves. But Dominum is known as a power metal German band based out of, Nuremberg. I got a little German in me. Not enough to say that town name, but they formed in 2022. This masked musical outfit performs music that I would consider is a cross between bands such as Ghost, Nightwish, Goth Minister, and even a little bit of 69 Eyes in there, a little bit. It's poppy, it's melodic, it's metal, it's hard rock, it's hair metal, it's gothic, it's just good. It's just good. At least that's the case for a majority of this album. Let me explain. While its later half struggles a bit to find its place outside of the melodic, gothic, rock and roll formula, most of this album is pristine. However, before we get into the negatives that I know all you just craving, right? I'd like it to go through the amazing, incredible first 8 tracks of the album. The opener, "The Circus is in Town," was such a unique way of introducing any new listeners such as myself, as well as old fans, to the album. Previously, I had not known this was their third album. Once again, first time listener. Haven't caught up yet, will do. In fact, I didn't even know this band until random happenstance found me browsing through my suggested list on iTunes. Once again, the For You on iTunes. Everything has a For You now, unfortunately. The cover art it sold me right away, and that's what caught my eye first. And then this opening track was such a strange yet catchy song that it solidified the rest of my listen, honestly. It truly was the circus theme played on the keyboard that really captured me at first listen, followed by the dark infused rock and metal with a uniquely clean and deep vocal style that had me hooked, with the harsher vocal screams capturing me at the later half of the song. Moving on, we're going to Dr. Doctor, which is more of a pop rock metal infusion that I really don't mind. In fact, it holds the same amount of darkness and disturbing context that it seemingly blends itself into the whole of the album without it feeling out of place, so to speak. It's at this point that I begin to notice the fantastic choirs going on and synthesized choruses that I'll later praise the mixing and mastering for. Children of the Night begins like a track straight out of a John Carpenter album, before quickly returning to the hard rock and metal style that the band will be known for by the end of this review. This song definitely takes its time without slowing the pace of the album and has an eerie, ethereal vibe, and is, of course, I was about to say the title track of the album, and sometimes while listening to it I feel like it should be, but it's close. It's close enough. Nosferatu is a funky, hard, guitar-led sort of fun that one can listen to and headbang without feeling too corny. At this point, I could tell that the band has a very specific blend of sound that's interesting without being completely debilitating, like the former bands I have mentioned. Dark Melodies is where the album calms itself for a few minutes. It's a song that's a little slower, a little darker, a little softer at times, but still somehow manages to keep pace with the rest of the album. Okay, so I said the other song was the title track. This is the actual title track, okay? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. The title track, Night is Calling, really emphasizes the band's sound and tone, including beautiful piano tracks, hard drums, rhythmic guitars and bass, with a complimentary feature from Battle Beast, who I've never heard before. Again, the way they progress to the chorus has been phenomenal so far, and I hope it continues, but not too much. Okay, now Jack the Ripper. Let's talk about Jack the frickin' Ripper, right? Jack the Ripper is probably my favorite track off this entire album, or at least within the top 3. It's funny, or ironic, or both. It's amazing how well this group can take a disturbing and dark subject and turn it into something like a symphonic melody of sorts. I'll have Jack the Ripper stuck in my head for days, literal days, and it won't get out of my head until I listen to it again and again and again. It's just that good. Now, Thriller, we all know Thriller. Thriller by Michael Jackson is a song that's been covered numerous times, an endless amount of times it seems, both good and badly written. But with this cover in the middle of the album of all things, it feels as though they wanted it to be a surprise. Letting their own work speak for itself before covering one of the greatest pop songs of all time. And by golly, they pulled off with such magnified or magnificent, I don't care which you choose, but it's composure, it's within the composure that I'm surprised it isn't trending right now. To take a pop song and turn it into a symphonic metal track while keeping the same melody and tone as the original is just as outstanding as what Alien Ant Farm did covering Billie Jean, a decade ago? It's been a while. Though with Devil's Son, it becomes apparent that their pop rock symphonic metal formula is starting to wear down a bit. Unfortunately, as catchy and well produced as this track is, it also sounds like a lesser version of both Jack the Ripper and Thriller from just before it. With the utilization of grand choruses and choirs becoming more apparent with every track, the steady tempo and the tone of previous songs really is starting to become more of a pattern with each preceding song, and well, let's just talk about the next, huh? I Don't Drink Wine is as silly as it sounds, and those who are keen enough to know that this is the obligatory vampire track, good for you. Good job. The guitar work here is very expressive and romantic, but by now we've heard the same or similar drum beats and rhythms from prior tracks that makes this song sound much like what we've already heard. And this is the fear when you listen to an album like this that starts off so strong but then loses its grandeur because they keep using the same tone and beats and rhythms and formula. Though, if you don't mind those like musical specifics, then I suppose this could be a dark melody to dance to and the midnight moonlight for you. Finally, what starts off as a slow, melodic intro quickly transforms into an enraged and engaging, heavy and high beat song about current social norms intertwined in backing story about necromancy and the undead. This is, oh fuck, let me look it up. Endzeit. Endzeit? Little German in me, remember that. Endzeit. Although this track adds more to the psychosocial hemisphere that we're faced with today, Dominum keeps their guns aimed at a more darkly rooted aestheticism than what punk or metal could produce. Yes, sometimes the lyrics and breakdowns are still cheesy and overproduced, but overall it's a fantastic track that heeds uncertainty for our future and becomes a great finisher to a fantastic album overall. I suppose my final statement on this album would be this. Dominum is a somewhat corny band. They really are. Delving into blunt lyricism about the supernatural, the occult, and the like, with many songs following a specific popular metal formula, especially in later stages of the album. But honestly, that's half the fun in listening to these tracks. They hold a sense of imagination and otherworldly horror to them, while being easy to listen to, catchier songs in the realm of symphonic pop and melodic metal. I personally have enjoyed the album in its entirety and believe that if you're someone who believes in the paranormal, watches horror movies for fun, or is in a more alternative scene such as goth, punk, or otherwise, that you'll truly enjoy listening to this album. Again, this was my first time listening to this band, and from now on, it won't be my last. Hope y'all enjoyed this short little music review. I don't know how many more I'll do throughout the year, if any at all. But this was such a fantastic listen, and I hope you enjoyed my very short review of the album. And until next time, follow Third Palm, and we'll see y'all again.